Welcome back to episode 51. I am here at Cannon Beach. That is Cannon Rock. I just made that up, but could be true. It is gorgeous here. It looks like Australia, just less hot. I'm heading back to Portland now. Probably gonna play at First Meadows or Frontier or the game tonight. I'm not sure, I haven't decided yet. But I will take you guys all along for the ride as usual, and I'll see you in the hands. We were playing some 1-2 over at Final Table, and yes, I know, I get the episodes wrong in every intro. It's fine. Fine. I raise up pocket tens, and the very first hand I'm dealt to $12. I raise up to $12. We got 3 callers, and now the big blind 3 bets us to 32. Well, he's only got like 150-ish in his stack, so I'm gonna get it all in here. I ship it all in for 400. Folds round, and he makes the call. Just really, this is like close to 100 big blinds, so it's actually quite a bit. But pocket 10 seems pretty good to get everyone else out. Flop is 6-5-4 all clubs. We do have a club in our hand. Turn is really nice. The 10 of spades and the river, 8 of diamonds. We only lose to a 7 pretty much. He doesn't show, and we are good. Taking out a pretty big pot on our very first hand. Okay, the under the gun straddle is live at $5. There's 2 callers, and I raise ace 8 of diamonds on the button to 30. Big blind snap calls, and hijack also makes a call. So we are 3 ways to a flop of 8-5-4, 2 clubs. Pretty nice. Checks to me, I'm going to bet. I'm going to size up a little bit here to 60. Big blind calls, hijack also makes a call. So we're 3 ways to a turn, which is the 5 of spades. Not my favorite card, but checks to me. I'm just going to check this one back, play some pot control. River is the queen of spades, so the flush draw misses. Big blind pretty much snap shoves all in. Hijack folds. For that size, I'm not going anywhere. I toss in the call, and big blind shows the 7-6 offsuit. For a pretty speculative snap call pre-flop, but guess it works out for him. Moving things along, I have been building up my stack, just raising complete garbage and just taking it down pre-flop a lot. So this hand is no different. There are 4 limps, and I raise 5-3 suited up to $30 on the button. Big blind, same player as before, snap calls at 30, and the cutoff also makes a call. So we are 3 ways to a really nice flop of queen 6 deuce 2 diamonds. The gut shot and the flush draw, so when it checks to me, I bet out 30. Big blind calls, and cutoff also makes a call. Off to a turn, which is really nice. The king of diamonds, we make our flush right away. Big blind checks, cutoff checks, and I fire out for 90. Big blind folds, and now cutoff is deep in the tank. Thinking it over, praying for a call, and he eventually does make the call. Off to the river, which is the 8 of spades, and now he leads out for all in for $84. And this is a fold. I don't know why I'm calling this. This is just always a fold versus this player. He just always has it. This line is just never a bluff. Like, he doesn't have like the ace of diamonds with 5 of spades or whatever, and it's just turning into a bluff here. Like, we just need to fold this, but I don't find the fold. I call, and my opponent shows the ace 9 of diamonds, and we are going to lose that one playing some stupid hand. Looking down at a ton of limps again, I raise 8-7 of diamonds up to 25 on the button. We get a call from the original limper, as well as mid position and the low jack. So we are 4 ways to a flop of 10 jack 6 2 diamonds. We got the gut shot to the straight flush draw, as well as a flush draw. So checks to me, I bet out 30. Under the gun calls, and so does a low jack. We're now 3 ways to a turn, which is the king of spades. Now under the gun leads out for 25, this really tiny lead on the turn that just doesn't make sense on a card that's not great for him. But he leads out for 25. I look at his stack, and I should probably just call this, but we got such a nice draw. So I ship it in, my opponent snap calls. Not good, we're looking for some help. River is the 8 of hearts, doesn't really improve us, but my opponent shows the queen 5 of diamonds for the turn open-ender. Almost flushed over flushed us again, and our straight out was also dead, except for the 9 of diamonds. Ugh, just getting really lucky that hand. The button straddle is live for $10. Small blind has completed, and I look down at ace 9 of hearts in early position. I make it $45, and we get a caller from the small blind only. So heads up to a flop of ace queen 6 rainbow. Looks pretty good, but I'm just going to check this one back and see what he wants to do on the turn. Turn is the deuce of spades. Looks pretty good. He checks it over again, and I'm going to start going for some value here. I bet 60, and he pretty much snap shoves all in. Pretty gross. I think I should have folded this, but I don't hate a call either. But, like, it's just never a bluff. Like, he just has a better ace, like, 9 times out of 10 here. But games are really slow, and my patience is very low, and I unfortunately do toss in the call. River is the queen of hearts, and my opponent shows the ace jack. That one was played very poorly. Raising up the pocket sevens in middle position to $12, and we go quite multi-way to the flop of 6-5-3 rainbow. Small blind now leads out. We are 5-handed for about half pot, just over 35. Raising seems okay, but I still have 2 players left behind me, so I just flat, cut off folds, and button folds. Off to the turn, which is the ace of hearts. Now my opponent checks, so looking like he has and like a 6 or pocket 8s, 9s, 10s, something like that. But I'm just going to check this one back, and we get to a river, which is the 10 of clubs. My opponent checks it back, and I think it's fairly evident that he's got a hand like a 6. Sometimes we're going to value own ourselves against 8s or 9s, but I think that's okay. So I fired a very small bet of just $30, trying to get a call from a 6, and he calls really quickly. We show, and it is good. My opponent did show the 6 of spades, so really nice to get that extra $30 value on the river. Got pocket 4s this time. We raise things up from under the gun, and we get 5 callers. We're going 6 ways to a flop, which is quite nice. It's 6-5-3, 2 spades. We got third pair along with our open-ender, but I'm just going to check this one over. And now hijack bets out for $10. 1/7 pot. This doesn't seem very strong, and she's only got like 150 in her stack, so I'm just going to put her to the test. I raise things up to 150, middle position folds, and she pretty much just snap calls. So we're looking for some help. Turn is the 8 of diamonds. So close. River, 3 of hearts. No help to us. I show, and she has the 7-6 suited for the top pair and gut shot. That one's not going to get through, unfortunately. This next hand, under the gun has raised to 12. Low jack and cutoff is called, and I have 5-4 suited on the button. I put in the squeeze to 60. Everyone was just folding so much, especially pre-flop and especially on the flop as well. Under the gun makes the call, low jack folds, and cutoff also calls. So not what I was expecting. We're 3 ways to a flop of ace-6-4 rainbow. Checks to me, and I think it's just very likely one of them has an ace. And as much as I'd like to put in a $60 bet here, I'm just going to get jammed on, I think, so often when they have an ace, and they're going to have to fold out my equity. Whereas if I check back, I could probably hope to 2 pair or trips up and then win a stack that way. So I just check it back. Turn is the 9 of hearts. Under the gun checks. Cutoff now fires out a bet of $25. Is like 1/9 pot. I make the call, and so does the under the gun player. Off to the river, which is the ace of spades. Looks pretty good. Under the gun plus 2 checks. Cutoff now fires out a bet of 25, which is even less than before. This is like 1/11 pot. I just think it's too likely one of them has an ace, so I give up here and fold. Under the gun makes a call, and we were up against pocket 10s and pocket 8s. Could definitely have won that one. Alright, looking down at 2 limps. I have 8-7 offsuit on the button. I've just been very aggressive in position. It's just been working out a ton in this game. I raise up to $20. Low jack and cutoff make the call, so we're actually going to a flop. It comes down 9-7-6. We got middle pair and a open-ended straight flush draw. Beautiful flop. Checks to me. I bet 20, and only the cutoff makes the call. Off to a turn, which is the 6 of spades. He checks it over, and he's only got about pot behind. Players just overfolding a ton in these games, so I ship it all in. Cutoff thinks for a bit. Unfortunately makes the call. So looking for some help. River is the 4 of hearts. Almost make our straight flush, but cutoff unfortunately shows the jack 9 with the jack of hearts. That one is not going to go our way, and we get stacked again. Alright, I know it looks like I'm spewing quite a bit in this session, but this was a very long session, and almost all the pots I just took down pre-flop, or I'd raise it up with literally junk, and then just c-bet the flop and take it down. But it's getting a little bit crazy. Under the gun shuttle is live at 5, and there's a few limpers, and I raise up the 10-8 suited to $30 in the small blind. straddler calls, under the gun calls, as well as a middle position. So we are 4 ways to a flop of ace, ace, 5, 2 spades. I literally have nothing here, but players are overfolding, so I bet out $30. Under the gun folds, under the gun plus 2 fold, and middle position makes the call. Off to a turn, which is the king of diamonds, and I'm just going to continue firing out this no equity bluff because I just don't think she has anything. And she's going to overfold, so I fired a bet of $75. It's still pretty cheap, less than half pot. Sure enough, it does get the job done, and we pick up a pretty nice pot there. The under the gun straddle is live. I raise up pocket nines up to $20 and folds around to the big blind, who 3-bets us to $40. Reasonable. I call. Off to a flop of king 9-6 all hearts. Beautiful middle set here, and my opponent fires out for 50. Just want to keep his range as wide as possible. Don't want to blow him off anything just yet, so I make the call. Off to the turn, which is the deuce of spades. Beautiful turn. Opponent fires out another bet. It is $50 again. Pot's getting pretty big, and I just don't think he's going to fold to an all-in. I think if I make it like 200 and we get a really bad river, I'm not going to get paid. So I'm just going to go for it all. I just don't think he's going to fold. So I make it all in, 365. Now he's in the tank. He lifts up his cards, and I see that it is ace, king, and they're black. He's drawn dead. We would love a call. And eventually, he does toss in the call. River doesn't matter. It's a 7 of clubs. And we scoop this huge $916 pot at 1-2. I really should tighten up in these games. Wrapping things up here, guys. I am just stepping out of a place called the Scotch Lodge. I cannot recommend this place enough. If you are in Portland, Oregon, do yourself a favor and check it out. I had the scallop tartare and a boulevardier riff. It was, really, 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 really good. Booked another win here in Portland. That's 3 in a row. Did not deserve it. Definitely not. I played like hot ham water. It's tough. Like the hands per hour is played around 10 to 15 with the bomb pots. The player's a little bit slower. No automatic shufflers. All these factors just lead to like slower hands per hour. So you feel like you're quite card dead, even though you're probably not really. And it's tough to not just blast off with just random hands, keeping sitting there for 2 hours on a hand, getting yourself flush over flush when you raise 5-3 suited, like a donkey. But did book a win of $490. I was in for 600, out for 1090, I believe. Another win of 490. Bring the bankroll from like 13 something to 13 something. I'll put the numbers down there. Yeah, Portland is a tough grind. It is tough. It is very slow. You really, really, really need to have discipline, but the games are quite action-packed, a little bit nitty, but there is action in certain spots, but you do need patience. If you have patience, you can crush these games. That is it for me. Thank you so much once again, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.